All right, let's just jump right in. Nothing and nobody will ever hurt you again. I mean, wow, that's a huge promise, isn't it? But here's the thing, it's not because the world is suddenly going to get nicer. It's because you're about to fundamentally change how you deal with it. We're going to break down exactly how you can reclaim your power and build this internal fortress that makes you truly, deeply untouchable.
And this right here, this is the whole game. Just let that sink in for a second. Most of what hurt you didn't come from the event, it came from the meaning you gave it. This idea challenges pretty much everything we've been taught about pain. It's suggesting that the real wound isn't what somebody did to you, but the story you tell yourself about it after the fact. The betrayal is just the event. The suffering, that comes from the meaning we decide to attach to.
So, okay, if the event itself isn't the real problem, then what is? Well, it all comes down to access. It's that unguarded doorway we leave wide open to the deepest parts of ourselves. You know? The one that lets other people's opinions and actions just walk right in and mess with our internal state. Let's really dig into what that means.
This is such a critical distinction to make. It's not that people can't be cruel, they can, but the deep, lasting hurt comes because we've bought into a lie. The lie that our value is somehow determined by how other people treat us. We're essentially handing them the remote control to our self-worth, and when they inevitably drop it or change the channel, we're the ones who feel the pain of that misplaced trust.
And you know, this quote from Carl Jung it absolutely nails it. He knew, way back when, that it's our opinion of what happens that gives an event its emotional power. The power isn't in what happens to you, it's in how you interpret it. And the best part? Your interpretation is 100% under your control.
So now that we get the what, let's talk about the how. How exactly are we handing over our power day after day? Well, it usually happens through this sneaky cycle of self-sabotage, and it's almost always rooted in that deep need to be liked, to be accepted, or just, to keep the peace.
Just look at this list. We think of our empathy and our loyalty as these amazing strengths, and they are. But here's the catch. When we give them away to anyone, to people who haven't earned them, we're basically handing them the sharpest tools to hurt us with. Our silence when we're disrespected, our fear of being left alone, these become the very weapons that allow others to wound us.
This slide just lays out the path forward so clearly. On the left, you've got the old way, which is this constant, exhausting search for approval. And on the right, the new way. It's about finding that validation inside yourself. Instead of being terrified of being alone, you actually start to embrace it. And this is crucial. You stop just tolerating disrespect, and you start actively enforcing your own peace. You see that? It's a huge shift from being passive to being active.
So how do we actually make that shift? Well, it all starts with one single, profound change in perspective. It's about moving from that feeling of being a victim to a place of what I'd call radical personal responsibility. And it all pivots on the question you ask yourself right after you've been hurt.
We all know this question, right? It's our go-to. Why did they do this to me? But this question, it just keeps us stuck. It sends us looking for answers from people who probably don't have them, or worse, don't even care. It puts all the power, all the control, right in their hands. It's a question that leads absolutely nowhere.
And this is the question that changes everything. It flips the script entirely. The focus is no longer on their behavior, it's on your choices. Now listen, this is not about blaming yourself, not at all. It's about reclaiming your power. It's the moment you realize, wait a minute, I'm the one who's the gatekeeper to my own inner world. This is where your real strength begins.
And when you start asking that new question, this is the realization that just clicks into place. Your vulnerability is precious. It's a gift. Your energy, your good mood, it's a finite resource, and you get to decide who is qualified to receive it. Not everybody earns the right to have that kind of impact on your day.
Okay, so we've made that huge internal shift. Now what? How does this actually translate into real-world action? Well, this is where boundaries come in, but we have to reframe how we think about them. They're not walls to keep people out. Think of them more like medicine for your soul.
This is so important because it just dismantles all that guilt we carry around about protecting ourselves. Where you used to think setting a boundary was mean, you now see it's actually medicine. Where you saw walking away from a bad situation as a failure, you now recognize it as the ultimate act of self-respect. And this last one, realizing that just being soft and open to everyone without any standards, that's not a virtue, it's a form of self-destruction.
And what does this actually look like in practice? It's usually not some big, loud, dramatic confrontation. It's way more subtle. It's quiet. It's the conscious decision to just not engage. It's that text message you see and you choose not to answer. It's the phone call from someone who always drains you that you just let go to voicemail. It is the quietest, most powerful revolution you'll ever lead.
So where does this whole journey lead? What's the destination? Well, psychologists, especially Jung, had a name for this state. This place where your inner world and your outer world are finally in sync. It's called becoming an integrated self.
Now, the crucial thing to get here is that the integrated self isn't another mask you have to wear. It's the real you that's been buried under years and years of people-pleasing and trying to fit in. It's your core, unshakable, totally self-aware, and just grounded in what you know is true for you, no matter how loud the outside noise gets.
And this is what it actually feels like to live from that place. Your anchor is inside you, not tied to someone else's approval. Chaos might be swirling all around you, but you don't get sucked into the drama anymore. You can see the patterns, you observe them, but you just don't engage. And your value? It's not something you have to prove or perform for an audience. You just embody it. It's just who you are.
This final quote just captures the entire spirit of this process so perfectly. The goal isn't just to stop feeling pain. It's about this incredible journey of shedding all those layers of who you thought you were supposed to be so you can finally become who you truly are.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? When you reach this place, this state of integration, your peace, it's just not up for debate anymore. It's not a transaction. It's not something you trade for approval or sacrifice to make someone else comfortable. It becomes the non-negotiable foundation of your life. And from that place, truly, nothing and nobody can ever really hurt you again.